Good afternoon, students. So this is video 5.8. The objective is I can demonstrate an understanding of the skills from Unit 5 with the minimum 80% accuracy. So basically this is going to help you to prepare for your unit assessment, which is on Thursday. Excel skills. You want to make sure you finish the 12 listed on Canvas. All right, so let's go, flippers. On Thursday, again, you're going to take your unit test, and you should know all the vocabulary words that are listed below. We're going to see those in a moment. They're down here. Let's just talk about these essential questions first. The essential questions that you're going to have to answer for this unit are, one, how can you classify quadrilaterals? So that's a big overarching idea. And the second one is, how can you use coordinate geometry to prove relationships? So this is what we've been working on yesterday and over the weekend. You want to make sure that you can carefully answer these two questions, and you can actually do it to solve problems. Here's a list of vocabulary words that you should be very comfortable and familiar with at the end of this unit. You should know all of these words and how to use them and what they describe. If you walk into the assessment knowing what they are, then you should be in a really good position. Okay, so the examples today are going to be a part of what you work on tomorrow, your study guide, and your unit review. So the first one is parallelograms. So for parallelograms, you want to actually list all the properties of a parallelogram that you know. So for parallelograms, opposite sides are parallel, opposite sides are congruent, opposite angles are congruent, adjacent angles are supplementary, and diagonals bisect each other. For rectangles, all parallelogram properties are now true. So everything that was over here is now going to come over here. All angles are right angles, and diagonals are now going to be congruent. For a rhombus, all parallelogram properties, so all these properties come down here. All sides are congruent, diagonals are perpendicular, and diagonals are also angle bisectors. For squares, all parallelogram properties again, all rectangle properties now, and all rhombus properties. So a square is all of three of these, which is kind of cool. And again, sorry for the glare. Okay, so here we go with, again, this is going to be a part of your review tomorrow, so it's really important that you see it. Number one, in any quadrilateral, the sum of the interior angles is 360 degrees, and we all know that for quadrilaterals. Number two, in quadrilateral ABCD, the measures of the angle are represented by the measure of angle A, which is 6x minus 2, B, 6x plus 2, C, 8x plus 2, and D, 3x plus 10. So we want to go ahead and put those all together and figure out what x is going to be. So clearly here you can see how I've solved this problem. I've taken all of these numbers, all of these measurements of these angles, and I've added them together and set it equal to 360. Okay, I end up with 23x plus 15 equals 360. Solving this algebraically, I get x equals 15. And that's all I was asked to find, x equals 15. Question number 3 says, if one side of a rhombus measures 12 centimeters, find its perimeter. Well, draw the rhombus. Clearly, all we have to do here is multiply 12 by 4. And we're going to end up with 48 units, or 48 centimeters, excuse me. Because a rhombus has all sides congruent. Number 4 says, in parallelogram RSTU with diagonals RT and SU intersecting at M, if RM equals 4x plus 3 and MT equals 5x minus 2, well, solve. So clearly here, what we need to do here is because these diagonals are bisecting each other, and we can see clearly that RM is congruent to MT, we want to set RM equal to MT and solve for x. When we do that, we get x equals 5. And again, we were only asked to find x this time, so x equals 5. For question number 5, it says, in parallelogram QRST, if the measure of angle T is 115, then the measure of angle R is, well, you need to actually draw on QRST, put in 115 for T, and then you want to figure out, well, what is R? Well, R is across from T, and we know the angles that are opposite each other are congruent. Therefore, if this is 115, R should be also. Question number 6. In a square, a side measures 10 inches. Find the length of its diagonal. Clearly, we need to draw on the picture. Here is the square. This side is 10. This side is 10. We want to use Pythagorean theorem here. So clearly, what we want to do is when we substitute in for x and for a for b, we're going to get 200 equals c squared. C equals the square root of 200. And here's where we simplify. Okay? We simplify this to radical 100 times radical 2, which simplifies to 10 times radical 2. And again, you can leave it at this step, or you can simplify it to 14.1 approximately. Question number 7, the opposite angles in a parallelogram are, well, opposite angles in a parallelogram are congruent. And for number 8, an equilateral quadrilateral is, well, all sides are congruent. For a quadrilateral would have to be a rhombus. The secret hot question for tonight is, what is the most challenging part of Unit 5? I really need to know what your honest answer is here. And then again, I need you to name a topic that you would like me to review tomorrow in class. Please make sure you include these answers. Have a great night.